Welcome to True Crime Hub. This is the story of Laura Simmons, a woman who endured the unthinkable and survived not by fighting, but by fooling death itself. Set in the sleepy outskirts of Woodpine, Oregon, Laura's life seemed like that of any other young woman in her early 30s, routine, structured, and safe. But in June 2021, safety shattered. And what followed became one of the most chilling survival stories ever documented. She didn't run. She didn't scream. She simply played dead. For 7 hours. Today, we bring you the harrowing journey of a woman who refused to die. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and prepare to walk through the haunting twists of Laura's tale. Laura Simmons lived alone in a modest 2-bedroom ranch house. A freelance graphic designer by day and an animal shelter volunteer by weekend, she was adored by her neighbors and loved quiet nights filled with books and wine. Her social media painted the picture of normalcy, nature hikes, cat photos, and self-made art. But she had just ended a toxic relationship 3 months before. And unknowingly, she was being watched. One set of eyes. Always there. Always waiting. It was June 12, 2021. A thunderstorm raged outside. Laura had just finished her client's project and was preparing for bed. At 11:47 p.m., the power went out. She lit candles and texted her best friend. Storm killed my power again. Then, a knock. 3 soft knocks. Laura peeked through the peephole. No one. She laughed nervously, until a shadow crossed her living room window. Her front door creaked. Had she locked it? Yes, hadn't she? But the next sound was undeniable, a boot on wood floor. Laura grabbed her phone, heart pounding, fingers shaking. She dialed 911. Too late. A man in a mask tackled her. She dropped the phone. His gloved hand muffled her screams. He dragged her across the floor. Laura's mind raced. She had to do something. The man didn't speak for the first 10 minutes. He tied her up, blindfolded her, gagged her. Then he whispered, coldly, "You shouldn't have ignored me, Laura." It wasn't a stranger. It was someone who knew her. Someone who felt rejected. Someone who had been planning this. The man wasn't there to rob. He was there for control. For revenge. And every move he made proved it. He read her emails aloud. He described her routines. He even mentioned her cat's name, Whiskers. Laura realized he had been in her house before. And now, he didn't want to leave witnesses. Bleeding from a blow to the head, disoriented but conscious, Laura did the only thing she could. She pretended to be dead. She slowed her breathing. She let her body go limp. The attacker checked her pulse, then stood over her for what felt like an eternity. Finally, he left. Or so she thought. She remained still. 1 hour, then 2. Every creak in the house made her flinch. Was he watching from the hallway? Was he outside? The storm still raged. But Laura couldn't call for help. Her phone was smashed. She lay there, in blood, in silence, in darkness. Just after 4 a.m., 3 hours after she faked her death, Laura heard a door creak. She was right. He had returned. He stood over her, kicked her, checked her breathing. She didn't flinch, didn't move, didn't breathe too loud. And again, he left. But would he come back a third time? As light began to peek through the broken blinds, Laura remained motionless. 7 hours had passed. She was bruised, bleeding, and nearly unconscious. At 6:48 a.m., her neighbor let her dog out and noticed Laura's front door was ajar. He knocked. No response. Then he saw her, lying in a pool of blood, eyes closed, but breathing. Barely. Laura was rushed to St. Agnes Medical Center. Broken ribs, a concussion, bruising across her arms and face. But the first words she said were chilling. "He knew me. He knew everything." Detectives Mark Tenner and Elise Moore were brought in. Laura described the voice, the height, the familiarity, and then she dropped a name, Daniel Carr, her ex-boyfriend. Daniel Carr, age 35, freelance web developer, clean record. But Laura had ended their relationship citing emotional abuse, manipulation, and stalking tendencies. At the time, police couldn't act. No restraining order had been filed. Now they had a victim, a suspect, and possibly a man who almost got away with murder. Detective Tenner requested Daniel's IP and phone records. They uncovered dozens of remote access attempts to Laura's email, weeks of social media logins from unknown devices. Her passwords hadn't been guessed. They had been stolen, and Daniel had coded a keylogger, installed months before. Laura had reported a suspicious break-in 3 months prior. Nothing was stolen. No sign of forced entry. Now, they believed that's when Daniel planted the keylogger, and possibly copied a spare key. He had been inside her home multiple times. Watched her. Listened to her. Planned every step. On June 14th, Daniel was brought in for questioning. He was calm. Too calm. No comment, was all he said to each question. But detectives had enough to issue a search warrant. And what they found in Daniel's apartment shook them. Photos of Laura sleeping, a printed schedule of her daily routines, and a pair of gloves with dried blood. Laura, recovering in the hospital, was shown the evidence. She broke down when she saw the photos of herself, unaware, vulnerable, being watched. "I always felt like I was being followed," she whispered. She agreed to testify. She wanted justice, but the road to it was going to be long. During the search, detectives uncovered a hidden USB drive. Encrypted. Once cracked, it revealed more than they imagined. Videos of Laura's home. Audio recordings of her phone calls. A folder labeled Phase 2. Inside, plans for her funeral. As they dug deeper, detectives linked Daniel to another cold case. A woman named Erica Vance, who went missing in 2017 after ending a short relationship. Her body was never found, but photos of her were discovered on the same USB. Had Daniel already killed before? The DA built a case around the break-in, attempted murder, stalking, and cybercrime. But Daniel's lawyers argued the evidence was circumstantial. No witness had seen him enter Laura's home. They needed something concrete, something undeniable. That's when forensics came back with the match. Daniel's DNA under Laura's fingernails. The courtroom was packed. Laura took the stand. She described the night she played dead. Her voice trembled, but she didn't flinch. Daniel sat, emotionless, until the prosecutor held up the USB and said, he planned to kill her. He planned to bury her, but she refused to die. Daniel's legal team painted him as misunderstood, a rejected man with poor social skills, but not a killer. They called the evidence manipulated, the photos misleading, and Laura's testimony emotional, not factual. But the jury wasn't convinced, especially when one item was entered into evidence, a video file labeled Final Night. Detectives had found a hidden dash cam in Daniel's car. It captured him driving to Laura's home, narrating his plan. In the video, he says, "She'll finally understand. She'll be silent. Forever." The courtroom gasped. Laura cried silently. Daniel's expression didn't change. After 4 days of deliberation, the verdict came in. Guilty on all counts. Attempted murder, stalking, breaking and entering, cyber harassment, intent to commit homicide. Daniel showed no remorse. His only words before sentencing: "She ruined my life first." He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Months passed. Scars faded, but trauma lingered. Laura started therapy, joined a survivor support group, and adopted another rescue cat. Her strength returned slowly, but so did her voice. She began speaking out, on social media, in schools, and at shelters. "I pretended to be dead to survive. Now I live to make sure no one else has to." Laura's story went viral. #7hours trended for weeks. Her courage inspired self-defense courses, emergency contact apps, and hundreds of women to share their own stories. She launched a foundation, Pretend No More. Its mission: to teach survival through awareness, and to reform stalking laws nationwide. After Daniel's conviction, detectives revisited the Erica Vance disappearance. They searched Daniel's old storage unit. There, they found a lock of brown hair, a pendant belonging to Erica, and a notebook marked with the phrase, "One mistake." Laura's survival may solve another crime. True Crime Hub sat down with Laura Simmons. She spoke calmly, but with weight. "I had to outsmart death. That night, I chose stillness over struggle. And somehow, it worked." Her message to others: believe your instincts. Tell someone. Make a plan. And never underestimate your will to live. Critics argued the justice system failed Laura at first. No restraining order. No early arrest. No protection. But now, laws were being re-examined. New bills had been introduced under Laura's name. Still, she said, justice isn't a sentence. It's a system that should prevent this from happening in the first place. Daniel Carr planned every detail. But what he didn't count on was Laura's strength. Strength to lie motionless. To silence fear. To wait in darkness for 7 hours. She defeated him not with fists, but with stillness. Not with a weapon, but with will. And in the end, he couldn't kill her. Today, Laura Simmons is a speaker, advocate, and warrior. Her foundation has helped over 8,000 survivors. Her testimony has changed laws. But above all, she is living proof that one woman's strength can dismantle evil. I didn't die that night, she says. I came back stronger. If Laura's journey moved you, help amplify her voice. Like this video, share it, and subscribe for more stories that reveal the darkest corners and brightest survivors of humanity. This has been True Crime Hub. And this was the woman who outlived the killer by pretending to be dead.